should be streaming now. Okay, looks like we're live. All right, we are live here from round 1 of the League 6. Accession, see you in the chat there. Are you getting us on the mic? All right, cool. All right, I'm your host for this week, standing in for Wonka. I'm Bad Rhymes. First time diving in control of the commentary, but I got some backup here with me. I've got our boy Pool here to help me out. Pool, how you doing?
Doing pretty well. Excited to see the kickoff of Season 6 of the League. See what the Div 2 guys can do in some open wheels around a fun but miserably challenging track.
This is one of those tracks that I love to drive, but I struggle to do really well on. And
yeah, I always feel fast in time trials, and then you get on a full grid and realize you're not as good as you thought.
I always feel really great, and then I see times, yep, and
yeah.
It comes right back on down. We're doing a little research here, making sure we know which livery is which. I believe right now we're looking at the McLaren. Back in the pits. Let's get out there and see some more practice going on.
On board with Kip Dunkel 2, aka Bip Dunkel, Fubar.
Thanks, Accession. This is going to be top-notch stuff.
Unfortunately, your crew is not the most knowledgeable on 80s and 90s F1 tech.
Yeah, that's
or sports car rally enthusiasts.
All of the pictures up. This is the Livier car. All right, got that down. Let's take a look around. Killer Pros coming out of the pits. Let's just take a ride with him on his out lap. Get a feel for our course. All right, we're gonna turn the cars down a little bit because the session said a little loud. A little better.
Just looking pretty composed, showing some throttle control coming through the technical section of the course.
Pretty important height. Little tentative coming out of that last turn there, which is one of the more important turns to get right as it leads to this long straight down to the front.
It's better to be a little slow there than to spin it. That is a notoriously easy corner to whip it in. It's okay. Very clean, tidy entry into the Senna S though. A little bit of wheel spin on exit, otherwise very composed.
You know, I was considering racing the league this season, but you know, I had to admit to myself that I have a better time watching open wheel racing than I do doing it myself.
Yeah, 100% agree.
A little bit too much concentration for me. I like the looseness of a sports car. Let's see who else we've got on track. Cecil Turtle, always a good runner in the league. I believe we've got Cecil here in the Mugen footwork. So anytime here, once everyone's settled in, we'll get warmed up with qualifying, which should be pretty entertaining. Bit of a... I think we're going to have a pretty competitive field. Definitely probably a lot of action in the midfield. Hopefully nothing too wrecky, but it's always good for the entertainment.
Don't think it'll be a race at Interlagos without an incident or two.
Some of the drivers that I'm keeping an eye on, I'm actually looking out for Lamb King to do pretty good this year, this season. I feel like I've been seeing a lot of improvement in his racing in recent times. Another guy to keep a lookout for is one of the newer racers, Backmarker Racing. Be interesting to see how he does in the league. He did some guest spots last season, did a great job. Be good to see how he goes this season. Always keep an eye out for Dino. It's not raining, so he might be a little confused on the track, but he's always going to show up near the top.
Shout out to the group Sadist. For anyone not aware, Dinosaur is a big fan of difficult race conditions. Also, personal bias, but really excited to see Motsky out there. Fellow rally enthusiast. Anybody interested in some off-road, reach out to Motsky. Runs some EAWRC leagues on the side, and it's very good pace on the gravel. Yeah, interesting to see how he does this season at the top back.
I got the notice from Dino that qualifying will be starting in less than 30 seconds now. So let's get warmed up for some racing action. A. Holmes, that's one of the newer racers in the league. Be interesting to see how he performs this season. You know, when you're new in something like this, probably a lot of nerves going into your first performance, especially when you know that there are a bunch of jokers out here watching you do it.
Yes. Sure. Joining the grid with a couple guys that have been here for 6 seasons now. So a lot of these guys are very used to and very comfortable racing side by side. Got a lot of time behind the wheel with each other. Hopefully A. Holmes has a good experience and slots right in with the rest of the crowd.
Got some support in the chat for Kip and Dip.
Uncle Brothers, well represented today.
Did my first race with Kip last night. Very pleasant guy. Clean, good, safe racer.
Safe, clean, and honorable passes only from Kip Dunkel.
Alright, guess I think we're heading into qualifying now based on that.
Like Ollie was ready for a new car.
right, qualifying has begun. Let's head out onto the track. With the first man out the gate, Ollie Bolly. Oh no, it is not.
First in our hearts, fourth on the track.
All right, everybody will just be warming the tires up, getting ready for their first belter. One of the things about Gran Turismo, of course, is always it is 19, 20, 10, 80. Is it not looking good on the stream? Okay, Virgold says it's...
And Virgold is always right.
It's not the best. Check. That's a little grainy. Yeah, it's grainy. Sorry about that.
Well, the stream will match the tires soon. Right. Coming across for flying laps for first half of the field. To the CNS.
Alright. Sorry, everybody's distracted. The place about the stream. Sorry, guys. I'll see if I can figure out something to get it looking nicer. Alright.
So far, everybody looks pretty composed on their cold tires, getting a little bit of heat on them, ready to start or finish their first flyers. Might have our first instance of a commentator's curse there. Hate to see it. That is going to be a very common incident for any issues we do have on track during this race.
Okay. All right. Here we go. We're tuning in. All right. We've got our Nixon up at the top. Start things off with the 121. I expect to see it come down quite a bit over the next few laps here. Right now we've got Backmarker, one of the new guys in the league for season 6. Putting in a lap. 7/10 behind Nixon right now.
Rhymes, how long do we have on qualifying here?
Qualifying is 10 minutes. So we're just under 7 to go.
I would not be surprised to see some people dive into the pits near the end of qualifying to try and get a lap on as low a fuel as possible and a fresh set of softs.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be seeing that in another lap or two. People will be coming through for the first time. So far, no one is
thank you to Virgold in the chat, defending the streamer honor.
Well,
doing the Lord's work, Virgold. Thank you.
It's going to be a long evening, everybody. There we go. Backmarker diving into the pits. All right, let's see what Kip Dunkel's doing. He's moved up to second. It's fine. It's 1987. All right. Sorry, guys. We'll try to get it figured out better for the next time.
Yeah, what is a classic Formula One car without that VHS grain?
Yeah, exactly. We're watching it on a CRT tonight. All right, so we have Kip closing the gap just a little, 0.5 of a second away from Nixon, but still not quick enough to really threaten him.
Everybody
You guys.
dealing with difficulties with their stream quality should follow stories in the chat device and pretend it's a World Star hip hop video. Watch it in portrait mode on your phone.
check in with Diamond and see how he's doing. Close to about 2 seconds back still. I'm guessing he hasn't really wound up for his first hot lap. Oh, a little bit of action going on there. Oh.
The newer of the brothers Dunkel, looks like he may have gotten into the back of Dinosaur and gave him a little rear aero damage there.
Yep, he has taken on damage, and he's been running on those tires a little bit, so probably a good time for him to go in anyway.
Yep. Definitely pay attention to that tire wear. That's definitely going to affect strategies. Not sure how viable the softs will actually end up being here. If you can stretch them, it'll be very beneficial for you, but that is difficult in the balancing act.
Dips. Looks like he's winding up for another lap here, but those tires are pretty worn at this point, so I don't know if he'll be doing any improving on this lap. Got about 4 minutes left in qualifying, so I would assume he'll be coming in this time around to get fresh tires and give it one more rip around.
Sounds like Ollie Molly stolen Nixon's provisional pole position and down a 120.9.
Yeah, 120 was what we were seeing when they were in the practice session. See if it comes down anymore, if Nixon can come back with an answer to that lap. We got there. We have Happy Hippo in the... That is the Lotus livery. Little disappointed, I had to say, that nobody chose Williams, my personal favorite team. This was a pretty good time period for them. Last time period, they really were any good.
A moment here and there, maybe, but consistently, yeah. Late 80s, early 90s.
All right, we have 2 minutes left.
Nixon should get one to two more flyers.
Catching a little traffic with Lamb King right there. Always a little rough qualifying, come up on someone.
That's exactly what you want to see on a flag.
Yeah. My favorite thing to see is always a very slow car coming up into my face.
Yes, stressful for both parties.
But this could be working out for him. He's probably getting a little bit of a slipstream off of Lamb King there, which maybe Lamb King doesn't want to give him, but doesn't have a choice right now, as he's probably trying to get his own flyer in. Oh,
yeah.
That lap is over.
That would be part of the problem with a slipstream in these cars, especially coming around the technical section of the course. Any dirty air is going to result in a slight loss of downforce. Right? You're no longer getting that clean, stable airflow that's coming over the car as it's designed. You're going to lose a little bit of grip, understeer or oversteer.
All right, let's take a ride with Happy Hippo on his last lap, see where he ends up. I wish I could do something about the chat, but I don't think I can. This screen, but I don't think I can.
You don't need to do anything about the chat. They're doing very well today.
Alright. Little tentative through those corners. Let's see if this lap's got anything in it. Ollie Bolly's in the pits, so I think he's comfortable with his time. Not going to be beaten. Let's see. Our Nixon looks like he is done, so we have him in second. Riley here in third.
Yeah, don't know if anybody's going to be able to take Ollie Bolly's spot here.
Let's see what Riley's got. 121.2, not enough to move up.
It's a good improvement, though. Top 3 within 3/10 of each other now. So, oh, Nixon did it. Nixon has taken him by 2/10 and a little change.
Ollie maybe should have stayed out on track and
3/10, excuse me.
But second's a good place to start in round 1 of the league. We'll be taking a little break here while the drivers get ready for the race. And then we'll be get going with D2. I'm going to take a moment here and see if I can do anything to improve the stream quality.
Yeah, that'd be good. Little Goron states stealing the neighbor's cable. Sounds like we're looking great.
The race could be interesting. We didn't stream the preseason race, but it sounded like there was quite a bit of yellow flag action. A lot of VSCs in that one. So hopefully we don't see more of that here now that the season's underway, but you never know.
Safety cars, I think, are good and bad for the spectator. A lot of drama on restarts, a lot of boredom on yellow flag laps.
Yes.
Oh,
but you know, the yellow flags breed yellow flags, they say.
exactly.
That is true. No death chicken here, so should be a little cleaner. This is a track that everyone's going to have spent a lot of time driving on. It's a pretty popular course, so I think a lot of the drivers here are going to feel pretty comfortable. All right.
Perfect machinery to visit Interlagos. Perfect car for this track.
Just take a quick look at how things shook out. We got Nixon on pole, Ollie Bolly coming in second, Riley in third, Kip Dunkel in fourth, Happy Hippo, another string of Canadians, a lot of Canadians up front. Got Sean, Backmarker Racing, in sixth. Good showing for him on his first time out in the league. We got Dip Dunkel, a little down from Kip, but we'll see if he's able to catch up once the race gets underway. Killer Pros in eighth. Dino down in ninth. I'm sure we'll be seeing him move to the front of the pack. He is quite good at conserving his tires and fuel and making it work for him in the race. Cecil Turtle in 10th. Sneak in 11th. I believe this is Sneak's first full season in the league. I was in the academy with him a few months ago. Great guy. A. Holmes, one of our new drivers, in 12th. Motsky in 13th. And Lamb King in the back in 14th. But as I said, I'm hoping to see Lamb King make some moves once the race gets underway.
Your 2 fan favorites are going to be making big man moves tonight.
Big man moves.
That is our prediction. Elbows out, big boys.
It's definitely going to be a lot of elbows out racing. I think with the slipstream, we're going to see people keep pretty close together unless we start seeing accidents.
Yeah, the Sector 2's definitely challenging enough to hopefully keep the field from spreading out too much. So.
I've been asking people lately, do you, you and I, we've been racing together for a while, Pool. Do you have any pre or post race sort of rituals or things you do?
Other than the Sunday morning time slot, it's usually a glass of white label Jim Beam.
Like all good drivers.
Exactly. I think that's really hits the spot, sets the mood for precision driving.
I think probably every driver is helped by a little bit of alcohol before they get on the track.
Exactly. But I know that the North Carolina State Patrol does agree. It's
We got
factual.
Wonka in the chat calling out Taco Bell. All right, 2 minutes to
That's a
race time.
Wonka with a different brand of upset stomach.
You definitely
I
don't want
respect
to do
his
it
decisions.
pre-race. The Taco Bell pre-race is I think, gonna be more of a hindrance than a boon. Um, Myself, I usually drink a big cup of coffee before I sit down to race, which might explain some of my agitation.
Little twitchy on the
A
wheel.
little twitchy on the wheel. Um, but I like to sharpen the mind a little bit. Um,
I think, in my experience, most people have ever always fallen to the depressant or stimulant category.
uh huh. Uh huh.
I'm glad we have both camps represented. But Taco Bell's landing directly in the middle.
Probably not a lot of pro drivers on the grid doing the whiskey start to the race.
Less now. I think
Mm-hmm.
75 Talladega,
Uh huh.
probably yes.
Yeah, I think if you go back, I think probably a good place to look is, well, even if you go back to 50s and 60s F1, I think you'd probably see quite a few guys hitting the track a few sheets to the wind.
Hmm.
But NASCAR drivers definitely, I think it's
Some
only,
pretty storied Le Mans entries, a case of beer in. Um, want to look into those. 70s Le Mans, a lot of drunk driving.
overall, I think racing probably at every level used to be quite a bit more punk rock and roll. These days, you know, capitalism gets to everything.
Yeah,
Eventually, everyone has to toe the line. It's all about getting those dollars in. So, quite a few less drunken antics on the racetrack these days. Some would say something's been
absolutely.
lost, but, you know, times are always changing.
Hey, Holmes, getting a couple of well wishes in the chat. Can second that opinion. I hope he does very well for his outing. Always like to see a newcomer place well.
Anybody down in the chat saw a couple of people talk about Taco Bell. Do you have any pre or post race rituals that you like to do before you hop in for a race like this? A lot of you guys are going to be racing in D2 pretty soon here, or D1 pretty soon here. So you might be getting ready right now. Maybe your ritual is coming into the stream to. Your ritual will become coming into the stream to tell me that it looks bad.
Yeah, if you guys can't tell, we handle constructive criticism very well. They're two very not sensitive hosts. Just real tough guys, big
Avoid
men.
milk. I like that. Wonka with the very mature visualizations and breathing exercises. Like
Mm.
that.
Probably helpful, not super fun, Wonka.
Vergould has a piss bucket. I can see that. I can see that being helpful. I find that usually after a long race, hour plus, I definitely need to use the restroom and get a race pee out. All right. And with that, here we go.
All right, ridden up. Let's ready for the kickoff of LRC, the League Season 6. Nixon on pole. Ollie Ollie has the inside going into the first section of the Senna S. Just a reminder, as with all seasons of the league, heavy damage is on.
Perfect time
Having
to say something calm.
a
All right, here we go. Ollie Bolly jumps up into the lead before they even get down to the bottom of the Senna S's. Nixon into second, Kip Dunkel into third. Coming down the back straight. Let's see how things shake out. Seems like it's been pretty clean start so far.
Yeah, I think everybody except Nixon can be pretty happy with that start. Rough go for him. Looks like he may have picked up a penalty there as well. Went pretty wide through turn 4, excuse me.
Ollie Bolly already out the second lead. So we're even through the first lap. That is a pretty great start for him. Whoa, but a little squirrely going through the infield.
And that is not going to help those tires.
But not a lot of time gained for Riley. All right, let's see what we have going on a little bit further. Back marker was in 6th. He's already made it up to 4th. Let's see if he's going to keep doing some pushing, catch up to Kip. 2-second gap between them already. Less than a second back to Nixon, who slipped back to 5th.
Under attack from Kilopros
Under attack
at this
from
moment. You can hold him off. Successful defense there.
Kilopros into the wall. Commentator's curse already coming into effect. He was by himself, though. I don't think we'll see a yellow flag from that one.
Motzky did well there to avoid that rejoin.
Everyone else made it through with no problem. Getting a request for a message from Willie. Let me find him.
Unfortunate for Kilopros. He'll be carrying that damage until his pit stop. Ollie Bolly up front. Looks like he has maintained that lead, stacking away from Riley.
Riley has gotten under a second, but not closing in too quickly. So
slipstream will be beneficial on the back straight. Through a lot of the course, that is honestly probably going to hurt catching that dirty air.
All right, Kip has slipped about 2 seconds back from Riley, so it is just a two-man race in front right now. Let's see, we have Dino moved up to 7th. So he is making moves towards the front now. A. Holmes, I think there's been a lot of shifting at the back. A. Holmes started in 12th. He's up to 8th now. So he is having a great start in this race. Cecil Turtle, less than a second behind. Got Sneak with a 1.5 second penalty. That's not going to help him. Yep, as Goron's pointed out in the chat, looks like the medium tires are working really well for people. Although that's soft. It's probably what has Ollie Bolly out so far in the front, but those are going to start falling off pretty quickly, while the medium racers are probably going to be able to close up and get closer to the front of the pack.
Interesting to see how this hard tire choice plays on for the brother Dunkel here in 6th place.
Yeah, that means that he's probably looking to do a pretty long stint, but I believe...
Go over onto the softer compound with a slightly lower fuel load, try to maximize that pace.
Looks like Cecil's trying to line up to make a move on A. Holmes.
I believe Holmes is on the harder compound as well, correct?
Let's take a look. Holmes is on medium.
Both on medium. Both medium runners, okay.
All right. He's maintaining that half a second. That's grown a little bit. Cecil's going to have to definitely close in more to make a move. Motzky already back up to 10th from his drop to the back. That's great. He is on the move, hustling that McLaren around the track. Lamb King a little wide. That's going to cost him. Slip back to 12th. Sneak getting through. Happy Hippo with white. another penalty, so that is going to drop him out. But still, even back here at the back of the pack, lots of action going on.
And the penalties hurt especially bad on this track. If you guys notice the penalty line coming up onto the highest speed section of the track, onto the back straight, or the front straight, excuse me. Really, really costly. Very painful. The driver serving.
Yeah, that 1 second very quickly turns into 2.5 seconds because you're coming up the hill there.
Exactly.
All right, let's check what's going on at the front. Ollie has, on the mediums, increased his lead to 2 seconds, so he is running away with it right now. So if he can keep that up, things are looking pretty good for him through the race. Starting on the mediums, that's going to give him a nice advantage depending on how long he can push it and what he goes on to for his next stint. I would guess most people are going to try to, the mediums are riding out. I would think we might see a 2-stop, but I might see some guys conserving things to try to make it a 1-stop. We'll see. That sounds like something Dino would do for sure.
Dinosaur is definitely a man of many strategies.
Riley also quite a bit of space between him and Kip Dunkel. 5 seconds back to third. So really, things are looking pretty settled out front right now. Just keeping concentrated, getting in the rhythm, putting in the laps.
Yeah. 36 laps is not the longest race, but it is definitely enough time to settle in and just focus on getting those clean laps in. Try and the race for the front's really going to be decided by strategy and won or lost in the pits at this point.
A little wide from back marker on the hard tires there.
I hate to see that. That'll be a good opportunity for Nixon to reclaim one of the spots he lost on the opening lap.
Yep, he is closing in.
Back marker may have gotten away with that. I was pretty convinced a penalty would be coming for that one.
Let's get a little on board with Nixon here as he closes in. Little
good catch from Nixon. Very quick reflexes.
See if he gets a good run out of this turn. Backmarker's already put it back up to 1.4 seconds. Both of them running the hard tires. Backmarker making a little bit better use of them right now.
That definitely explains Nixon getting jumped so hard on the first lap. I like to see a different strategy from somebody in the top 5 there, though. It's like Brother Dunkel's faring well as on the racing hards as well.
Field seems relatively spread out at this point. We have 1 to 2 seconds between each car, mostly across the track. So definitely things are going to settle in unless people are making mistakes. There's an accident. I think the first round of pit stops are going to be what really shakes things up. Oh, big gap back from 9th to 10th. That seems to be about where the break in the pack is.
It's quite a bit of ground to make up for Motsky. And Snake, excuse me. Yeah. Solidly within the top 10 for A. Holmes on his debut race, though.
Yep, looking good.
Extremely
yellow
strong.
Yellow flag. Let's see if we can find who's got damage. Another one. All right.
The group made it through clear. Must have had an excursion. I thought I saw a bit of dust there on one of while we were flipping through, so probably just a nice strong off track. A. Holmes setting his personal best for the race. Is that correct?
Dip out here, driving alone. Seems very spread out here in the back of the pack at this point. sneaking 10th, Motsky in 11th. That leads me to believe Motsky had some more trouble on the track as he was running 10th. We'll see if he's able to close in there.
Right now, if I were Motsky or Lamb King, Killer Pros, any of these guys out of the top 10, I would be 100% praying for a large incident, right? That safety car can just bring a race right back to you.
Yep, I'm pretty sure, well, really, everybody's probably hoping for a safety car right now because a lot of work to do, I think, for pretty much everybody to do any sort of fighting for a position at this point.
I'm anywhere in the podium right now. I'm pretty content. I would be very content.
Ollie Bolly would probably be happy if it stayed green for another 20-some laps.
Yeah.
A. Holmes into the pits, first person going in. Taking off those mediums. Let's see what he goes on to.
Damage. Switching our compound pretty quick. Murphy's just feeling a lot of oversteer, understeer on those. A lot of the guys are probably going to push the tires a little bit further than that.
Yeah,
back on another set of mediums as well.
That means he's going to have to do at least one more stop because I believe you have to run 2 compounds in the league.
Yeah. So. I mean, Interlagos is not a super long pit stop. I can see a 2-stop going up decently if you've got the pace to back it up. Fresh tires are absolutely quicker per lap. Interesting to see the rest of the strategies.
There are no required compounds.
Okay.
Must use 2 compounds if it's a dry race. So he's going to definitely have to pit again to put something else on. Hopefully his team has let him know that, but we'll find out. That has put him back in 12th. Lamb King not too far behind him, but having not made a stop yet. His mediums are still looking to be, right as we spoke. Lamb King getting loose on the track. Back facing the wrong way in the middle.
It can be very tough to get these cars turned around. That much horsepower on a car that's sitting still.
So maybe
see his throttle inputs there.
And he gets going again, but that is going to be rough for him. Dropping far back. We've got Ollie's
managed to pull out another second.
Yep. Every time we check in, Ollie a little bit further out front in his Benetton. Riley doing his best, definitely keeping a lot of space between him and Kip in third. That he keeps pulling further away from Kip, and Ollie keeps pulling further away from him. So, and then we see Riley lose. That is going to help Kip out quite a bit. Immediately jumps Ollie up to nearly 8-second lead and cuts Kip's deficit in half. So we might be seeing some action soon.
Might be time to start thinking about a bit for Riley. Those tires don't look easy to manage in this car.
Yeah, he has definitely been pushing hard, I think, to try to close up to Ollie Bolly and use those boys up.
We got a yellow flag coming up too. Looks like somebody's off. Maybe a back marker right here. Yeah, I believe we've got somebody, a back marker ahead of our first place group. Yep. Maybe Lamb King had a little bit of a spin as he's got a 21 second. Yep, that's our blue flag. Well, Lamb King, we're all praying for a safety car for you, brother.
Stay strong, brother. Those racing hards. Killer Pros has taken some damage somewhere along the way, so maybe it was actually him what the yellow flag was for. We've got Riley into the
Oh,
pits
yeah,
now.
you might be right.
Probably getting those tires off after that spin.
Yeah. I hope that doesn't mess with the strategy too much. I've definitely made the frustration pit before.
Looks like Motsky has closed in on Happy Hippo, who has dropped behind Sneak. Sneak doing pretty good in his first season in the league, up to 9th place. Good to see that from him. Happy Hippo dropped to 10th.
Sneak's a fellow Academy graduate
He
yourself,
is.
right?
Yep, yeah. So good to
Anybody
see him
watching
doing
that
so well.
hasn't done the Academy, that's new to the game or sim racing, or just new to the group. Got a graduate commentating, and it's like a graduate in our top 10 on his first outing. So it's like Wonka, Willie, and the cruise instructions do pay off.
Yep, can't recommend the Academy enough if you are just joining us for the first time, just joining LRC, looking to improve your racecraft. It's probably one of the most solid groups that I've raced with online. A lot of emphasis on good, clean, fair racing and having fun and learning how to do a good job behind the wheel.
I can't vouch for Wonka's pre-race Taco Bell routine, but I can vouch for his instruction.
All right, Sneak has picked up a 1.5 second penalty. Happy Hippo is 3.5 seconds back to him, but we'll see what that uphill penalty does to help Happy Hippo close in. We got Kip in the pits on mediums. Let's see what he goes to.
I believe in the next lap we'll start. Kip was managing quite a bit of damage, it looks like. Rear aero and right rear suspension. Just rear aero, excuse me. Stood very well.
He goes to the hards, so gonna have a long middle stint here from Kip. He's gonna be coming out right now behind Dip.
Perfect opportunity for some brotherly love. They're on the exact opposite strategy, if you look at that. Dip, one of our hard runners on his opening stint.
Holmes in the back making moves. Got through Sneak and Motsky.
Big man moves to get right back into the top 10.
We'll see where everything shakes out once the leaders all make their stops. I think Ollie back marker. Did Nixon go in? Let's take a look.
Nixon, I believe, was the first.
No, he's still nursing those hards.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, so
okay.
He is still going.
Excuse me, that was Riley. Right.
Yep, yeah. It's allowed Nixon to get back up to 4th place. Riley already back up to 3rd.
And Nixon gaining ground on worn hards. It's an impressive drive.
Oh, Riley must have had a little slip up coming through the Senna S's. Nixon getting a run on him in those hards. They're going side by side here. Let's see what goes at the...
little bravery check. It's like Riley.
Oh, pushed wide. Oh!
I believe that's our first VSC
probably going to be a VSC. Well,
look like
Nixon hasn't picked up any damage.
Let's see if they actually call it.
That is bad luck for Riley.
And the most durable Formula car I've ever seen piloted by Nixon.
They don't make them like
we
they
all
used
know.
to.
Yeah, open wheelers known for durability. But I do believe that's a Honda motor in that vehicle. Does help.
Looks like we are still racing. Bad news for Riley, but he's only dropped back to 6th, so hopefully he can make some of those places back up.
Back marker going in, coming off of the hards.
It's worked out well for Dino, who's moved up to 3rd. Back marker going into the pits, as you said. Let's see what he comes out on.
Would imagine he's going to be on the
Took
mediums.
those hards 15
hards
laps.
again. Okay, so he's going to one stop. No, If he
I
comes
mean,
in on another
so
15,
he
he
did.
can go straight to softs and nurse those for 6 laps.
Yep,
I think we were
that might
seeing
be the
what
play.
four good laps on softs during qualifying with no tire saving. So yeah, I think that might be the strategy back on.
It seems like the mediums are the most effective in this race, but the hards are definitely going to allow you
I
to
mean,
do those long stints.
yeah, and if you've got the pace to run up front on them, it's actually that might be the call.
Ollie Bolly into the pits. Our leader has
Dinosaur's
gotten
time to
first
shine.
Yeah, let's see how long. What is Dino on? Let's take a look here. Oh,
Ooh,
he is
riding some mediums to
running
the
him
end.
to the nibs.
Yeah. By the time our
That is
glorious
going
leader
for another lap around.
baked to the pits a little bit there. I like that little juke.
So it'd be interesting to see if he is taking these mediums for 16 laps now. My guess is he'll jump to hards for his final stint and ride them to the end, but maybe he will, I don't know, 20 laps, that's a bit much for a set of mediums.
But if you save mediums this well, that would be an easy one-stop one on the hards, for sure. Just don't know if the pace on the hards is going to be enough to actually move him up any.
Nixon.
Little Goron brings up a good point too in the chat. Possible fuel concerns for Ollie. Notice he did not take much in his pit stop.
I wonder if he was planning on taking those mediums to the end, or if he's maybe going for a strategy like back marker to pop on some softs right at the end of the race there.
Yeah. No, Goron does bring up another good point that Dino does have that tire booster.
I mean, let's see if he goes in this time
obviously,
around.
I mean, he has to.
And there we go,
right?
Dino into the pits.
But, I mean, paid for all the rubber and used every bit.
Used every little bit. 16 laps on a set of mediums. That might be the longest run on those.
That's a man that grew up poor if I've ever known one.
Now, if he comes out on the hards, guaranteed he's one stopping it.
Yeah. I believe Dinosaur had sleep for dinner a few times as a child. A man that doesn't waste. Yep, and on the hards. I think Dinosaur's got most of his race banked on this strategy right here.
He's got that half a tank, and he's gone. Well, we'll see how the fuel works for him. We might have to do some fuel saving to make that work. That's a man that drinks the tuna water, says Goron in the chat.
Goron, we forgive the stream quality shit talking earlier. You're I don't know why you're not on the mic, brother.
Dip's still out on the hards. Looks like if he really pushes himself, could do one or two more on there.
Drink the tuna water. Oh, damn, Goron. That's getting added to the playbook right here. I like that one. Can't waste the protein. Where's that protein son?
Let's take a look here. Looks like Ollie Bolly catching up to Sneak. Put him a lap down.
Through traffic, we might actually
had some trouble with backmarker traffic in the past here. Let's see. Make sure Ollie gets through nice and clean.
I don't think we have. Yeah. I don't think we have anybody in here for the first time, but just to be clear and just in case, LRC does use normal people pool flags, which is to say not F1 flags. So the car in front is entitled to their line at any time, and the overtaking car maintains the responsibility for doing it cleanly and safely.
Molly Bali way out in the lead now, 14 seconds to Nixon in second, who is still out on those racing hards. This would be the halfway point, so...
I mean, at this point, he's pretty committed. You'd need to stay on it, right?
He is continuing on. But you can see Kip back here in third, fresh hards. He's
Definitely
closing
gaining
in.
some ground.
Definitely closing in. So, but he was going to take the position no matter what if he keeps it together by the time Nixon goes into the pits.
It's like back marker will be back in the mix before too long. Seems to be steadily gaining ground as well.
Maybe we will see some tightening up as we get towards the back of the race. Let's see, Kip
Haven't raced against.
We also have Dip here on those hards. Dip and Nixon really pushing those tires as far as they can. But they are going to have to do a different compound when they come in, so they might be trying to push it long enough to be able to come out on the mediums. I think they need to get to at least lap 20 or 21. Got a yellow flag.
Fine at the front. I mean, at the rate Nixon's going with tire saving, if he can stretch it long enough, might be able to pull out a soft stone. These save tires.
Let's see if he's going to go in this time around or give it another lap. So there you go.
You know, it's been quite a while since I've raced against Nixon, but he is definitely no slouch on the defense.
Kip has closed up though, so let's see how hard. If I was Nixon at this point, I wouldn't put up too much of a fight. I just let him through.
And you called it. Yeah, you called it.
And that brings Kip through into second on the fresher hards. Ollie out front on the mediums.
Honestly, it's probably the smart call to let him through and not fight too much, but I don't know if I would want to give it up that easy, considering how big of a role Dirty Air can play in these cars.
Well, you know, you have to think about the fact that, like, at this moment,
absolutely.
You know,
it's like you probably will lose less dealing with Dirty Air for a minute than you've been dealing with trying to defend, but it's a more complicated call than it would be in any other vehicle, I think.
Back marker now closing in pretty quick on Nixon. But let's see if this time around Nixon jumps into the pits or takes him for another time around. Going again.
Yeah. No, that is a good point from.
Back marker
well.
getting. But he has a penalty, so. Not the safest place to go side by side, but they handle it like pros. Riley still in sixth. Unfortunate accident earlier. I'm guessing we might see some penalties after the race for that one, since we didn't get a yellow flag.
Yeah, I would definitely imagine so. Inquiry at the very least.
Oh, sneak, back marker wide there, letting Riley through. He's
Giving him
closing.
space on the rejoin.
Riley is closing in on Dip, who also has those all hards on. So we'll see how much of a fight he puts up when Riley gets up on him in a couple of corners here. He's going to be able to take these turns much.
Yeah, you can tell he's still in that wear. See him get stepped out right there as well. So really having to manage that throttle. Look at that. Almost nothing on the apex. Big lift. Yeah, those tires are really hammering Brother Donkel.
There is nothing left. He's got to be coming in this time around.
Yeah, that's another tuna water man right
Nixon
there.
in now on lap 21. So
And
he's definitely
Dip has
done
here.
enough to do a one stop here. Dip also diving into the pits. Let's see what Nixon comes out on for his second stint.
Good job by both these guys, though. This is not an easy car to drive on fresh hards,
Yeah,
let alone on hards starting to show the boards.
Very composed throughout those long stints.
Yeah.
Did a great job. All right, he did toss on the mediums. That's his 2 tire compounds met, and enough rubber to make it to the end of the race. So Nixon dropping in 8th. Let's keep an eye on that and see where he ends up. He started out, Nixon took pole right at the end, isn't that right? And then he dropped back pretty quickly at the beginning.
He elected to start on the hards, and I think the plan made it bend to try and...
Wide there. Got to get those tires warmed up.
Yeah, cold tires will do that. You know, often when you're in the front, it sounds very appealing to start on the harder compound and bank on some defensive driving to make the guys behind you waste some rubber, but doesn't always work out.
Oh, Cecil Turtle.
Oh, Cecil.
Off the track.
Looks like he did that alone.
Well, Nixon makes up his first position of this stint, so good start for him.
Free spots are still spots.
Happy Hippo into the pits. Let's see. He was on the softs. So is this. This must be his second stop now. And then I guess we'll see.
Imagine going on to mediums.
Happy Hippo coming out in the mediums, dropping into 9th, but he's got Holmes right behind him on slightly used hards, but it's going to take Happy Hippo a lap or 2 to get those mediums up to speed, as we saw with Nixon coming out. So we'll see if A. Holmes can capitalize on it. Although
I doubt he's going to lose anything on this lap. As soon as those mediums come up to 10, might be in for a little trouble.
Dip in 8th on his fresh mediums. This is going to be a long run to the end for him. Looks like would expect one more pit stop from Cecil Turtle. I don't think those mediums will make it to the end. Nixon on his fresh mediums.
And doing so good managing it. Look at the limited amount of wear on those. That is impressive. It's a very controlled drive from Nixon and Dip, honestly.
Dino holding strong in 5th. He's definitely not going to be pitting again, so let's see where things shake out for him. I feel like this is you always see Dino tucking in right around here towards the end of the race, and then somehow he manages to pop those next few positions up. So wouldn't be surprised if we see Dino on the podium for the end of things here. But we'll see. He's going to be getting past Riley here in a moment. Oh wait, no, that is Lamb King with the nope, Sneak. Sneak has gotten quite a few penalties over the course of this race. Dropping him down to 13.
Like we said earlier, as you can see that penalty line, look at how much of a killer that is.
Oh, yeah, just drops away.
It hurts.
All right, Riley back up to 4th. He's on those hards, so I think this is Riley to the end of the race. Back marker on hards. I think he can get those to the end. Kip. We'll see. Ollie also.
Even on bad tires, you can count on Kip Duckworth to be a clean, safe driver.
I don't know if those mediums have another 11 laps in them for Ollie, but he's got a 26-second gap to Kip. I don't know what a pit stop loses you here. I mean,
if he's if he can keep building like he has been and comes out, if he can stretch these long enough to come out on softs, even if he comes out a little
That's
bit
true.
behind,
That's
he'll
right.
probably be fine.
That is right. We're expecting him to
And
drop
at
in
this
and grab
stage of the
those softs.
race, even a fresh set of mediums is gonna be quick.
Yep. Oh, a little slippery.
Yeah, and
And he
that is the
is.
thing with these cars is the throttle control needed on corner exit. You can see Kip managing the throttle so finely there, right?
Yep.
And once you're out on those worn tires, if you light those rears up, this car moves fast. It's hard to catch.
And Ollie is even extending that lead at this point. It's up to 28 seconds now. So if he can keep that up before he pits for those softs, he might make it all work out for him.
Yeah, I think this, at least right now, for the moment, I think this race is his to throw away.
Oh, we got somebody.
It's like red and yellow.
There it is. Lamb King again. Unfortunately, back in 14th. Been a pretty miserable race for Lamb King and Sneak. Feeling bad for those guys. Trouble befalling them all throughout. Lamb King can definitely be able to run those mediums.
The good thing about being down a lap, right, is if you cause a safety car, you've got nothing but, there's nothing to gain there.
Yeah. Motsky back in 12th, 2 minutes off the lead. Been a rough race for him as well. 5 seconds to kill the pros. A lot of people who are usually performing relatively well in the league, kind of in the back today. Holmes holding on to the top 10, first time out in the league. Might be tough to make up any more places from here. Happy Hippo getting past Dip. It's on pretty fresh mediums, but Happy Hippo's on a fresher. Wonder if Dip must have slipped up to have lost that so cleanly like that.
We did, when we were flipping through the crowd earlier, I did spy a second of a yellow flag, like somebody had it off.
Must have been. We're seeing the aftermath of that here.
Yeah, very well could be. Hate that as Dip has been really giving a class in tire conservation race. Really hoping to see that strategy pay off for him, as well as Nixon and Dinosaur as well. Really, really saving their butt.
Dinosaur dropped back to 6th, Nixon up into 5th. With a gap between the two of them, makes me wonder if maybe we missed something else. Gonna have to get set up for the replays, although hopefully Wonka will be back for the next race. Back marker into the pits. So if he is going to go for that soft tire gambit, this is still quite a few laps to go on the softs. But might be able to make... Oh, he goes to the mediums. All right. Maybe squandering a bit of that opportunity, but maybe the mediums are the better play here. We've seen a lot of good pace out of people on the mediums all race, so... And he's only dropping back to 6th. Ooh, 3-second penalty. That is going to hurt. But that might allow Happy Hippo to close up on him, given the extra tax you get for that uphill.
That pit line penalty hurts so bad. It's on some tracks, it's a very easy mistake to make, but it's one you immediately regret.
Let's ride with Happy Hippo here for a moment as he comes up on Sneak, who's continuing to have trouble getting that car around the track. Might just be a little bit of nerves getting to him at this point.
And again, definitely don't want to discount these cars. It's requires a very precise level of throttle management, especially in that technical sector.
All right. Oh,
Ooh.
Around the outside, dangerous. Back marker just had that penalty
man.
paid. Let's see how close Happy Hippo can get. He is closed on over 4 seconds between them. So if
he was watching that gap, but he would not have made such an aggressive move there.
I think we have somebody off the track up here. Oh yeah.
Really reeling back marker in right now.
Hill of Pros coming out of the pits. Somebody was off track. But let's see what
We're getting some punching up.
I think we're going to see things tighten up quite a bit as everybody makes their last stops and we get towards these last few laps. Let's see if Happy Hippo
strategy shake out.
Finish getting into back marker. Back marker coming up on, I believe that is Motsky, a lap down. Yep.
Yes.
So that might be enough to get Happy Hippo in striking distance.
Depends on how the traffic works out.
If
back marker can get through there quickly and not too much effort, that might end up impeding Hippo more than him.
A little tentative through that turn. So that's not going to help him out. Let's see how quickly back marker can get past Motsky here. Oh,
Eight on the brakes there.
nice stuff. He got through there with no trouble, so I don't think that's going to do Happy Hippo much good. And he is even closing in on Dinosaur a little bit here. He's got those fresh mediums. This is going to be a real, he's just going to try to rush it. You know, everybody else here is running the long game. He's got these tires.
He has to be in charge.
Oh, Ollie into the pits on lap 30. Let's
see if he takes any fuel here, too. He should be very close to having enough to get
no fuel.
Yeah,
all right,
no
he
fuel.
is just going for it. And he has such a lead over the rest of the field at this point.
And
amazing.
Onto the softs. Onto the softs to finish.
Yeah. Well, barring any incidents, I think we are seeing our race winner here. As he comes.
Jerk as soon as you said that.
That must have been his wheel coming into action.
Yeah. Definitely not your fault.
But still 20-second gap back to Riley. So 11-second gap from Riley to Kip, who is also on those fresh mediums. Nixon on the used mediums, going to try to ride it to the end there. Let's see how these last 5 laps shake out for him. Dino on the used hards. So we're seeing here people on the 2 stop. I don't think it's going to work out for them enough to.
Yeah, the next 5 laps, Dinosaur is going to be fighting hard.
Yeah, he's already dropped back behind.
Already got it.
Back marker, so.
Back marker got it done quick.
Oh, they are side by side right now. Oh,
yeah.
two
Taking right through. Good move, Happy.
Oh, really backed up by Happy Hippo there.
And, you know, Happy sacrificed that corner to follow back marker through on that. That's definitely the right call. But you got to be committed. What do you guys think Dinosaur's been rocking the Roxy helmet there? All 6 seasons? Any input on that, Goro?
Oh, and Happy Hippo off into the barrier.
I would imagine that damaged you up. That hurts. It's a bad time in a race to have it.
Coron says, as long as you've seen him.
All right. I knew you'd know. Thank you, brother.
Well, that's bad news for Happy Hippo. He was putting in a really great run here towards the end of the race, but dropping back to 8th. 4-second gap to Dip, who is pushing on those mediums. I don't know if he'll be closing into Dino, though, although those hards are looking pretty rough. It's really a race of attrition at this point for a lot of people.
Be interested. What's the gap from Happy to next place right now? That damage, I wonder how much he's going to lose at that.
14 seconds.
He's got 14 seconds. Okay. Yeah, he's probably okay on that.
Yeah.
See. Oh, no, it's coming down pretty fast. That lack of downforce.
Well, once you have that first incident, sometimes it can take a little bit to get back in your groove.
100%, yeah. Yeah, just leveled off a little bit there. I think you called that one. Dirty tires, a little shake to the confidence.
Still have A. Holmes in 10th. Looks like he's driving by himself now, so that's good news for him to keep that 10th position. Motzky in 11th, but pretty far off the pace at this point. 30 seconds to Holmes. Plenty of damage on that car. Used up mediums. Unlucky race for Motzky today.
At least he's not alone. He's got a little company there with Kilopros.
Well, let's see how the battle for...
Don't want to lose the position, but finishing a race alone doesn't feel good unless you're in the first gold spot.
Better to have a friend.
Yeah. I believe he had that front right damage on Motzky's car too as well. Which is really going to hurt the exit there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Motzky went a little defensive, but a little late.
Not a whole lot he can do there, really.
Well,
you're holding it on. Good job.
If you're on the outside in turn 1, you've got the inside on the scarier part of the S.
Let's see. Kilopros lines it up now for the hairpin.
Motzky going defensive.
This is where I would try the over-under, feeling clever and
right there.
Eating shit. But it works for Kilopros.
Luckily. Yeah, exactly.
Got sneak into the pits. Late stop for him, but he has taken some damage. Ollie out here running his own race.
Setting a purple lap on that 35 and 36 on Warren Slabs. He has to be feeling good with that. He's had one of the braver strategies we've seen and has had the pace to 100% justify and back it up.
Well, barring any incidents in the next few minutes here, I think we're looking at our finishing order as everybody has spread out a little bit. Not really a lot of room for moves at this point. So let's go on board with our leader for a lap here. Let's take a ride around Barcelona. Pretty much a textbook race from Ollie Bali. Did everything right. Jumped into the lead early on.
Yeah, you can see through the Senna S's exactly how he built that lead. You can see how aggressive he is on that throttle on these worn tires. And setting a new purple sector and through the S's as well.
Just letting everybody know that this season he is a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, straight to 100% throttle. Manages that oversteer like it's not a problem. Yeah. Ollie looks very confident and capable in an extremely hard to manage vehicle.
And here comes Ollie up the back stretch for the last time this race, 36 laps, and he has been in the lead of pretty much all of them, I believe. So great first race for Ollie Bali and Benetton.
I didn't realize this, but Wonka just said in the chat, Ollie's on a controller as well. So to manage those tires on a controller, it's notoriously difficult.
Oh, we have a fight brewing here. Riley and Kip coming to the line.
Kip's got to make a big man move here.
Let's see how this plays out. Two Canadians going head-to-head. Does he have what it takes to get past Riley? He is closing in. Let's see. It's going to be a sprint to the line. Oh, and Riley keeps it together. Third for Kip.
600ths of a second.
That was wild stuff right there at the end. Did not expect that. Nixon nursing those mediums over the line, takes fourth. Backmarker Racing in his first race for the league, coming in fifth. Here comes Dino. Held things together to take sixth place. Dip Dunkel behind him in seventh. Both of them going with a one stop. Happy Hippo. Some trouble during the race, but managed to hold on to eighth. Great run by him.
Solid top 10 finish.
And here comes Cecil Turtle, ninth place. And
yeah, Cecil with a solid and quiet stint. Gotta say, I really like the aggressive drive to the finish from Riley there. It was a very touring car-esque squeeze at the end. Definitely liked that. And of course, congrats to Ollie for the dominating drive.
Congrats
excellent,
to
especially
everybody.
to be on a controller.
First race of the league actually was pretty good. Lots of action, good stuff going on. Let's take a look at the results and once again go over how things shook out.
And no safety car.
No safety cars, although we did have some incidents that are definitely going to need to be discussed in the steward's room. Ollie Bali taking first place. Great job on his first outing in Season 6. Riley managed to hold on to second. Fight there at the end with Kip Dunkel in third. Our Nixon doing the one stop to get fourth. Backmarker, fifth place. First league appearance on a team. Dino in sixth. Dip Dunkel, sorry, in seventh.
Other Dunkel.
Great job by him. Happy Hippo again coming in eighth, holding on, even though he had some trouble there towards the back half of the race. Cecil Turtle in ninth. Nice, quiet, competent race for him. A. Holmes, first appearance in the league, 10th place, top 10 finish. Great way to start. Couldn't ask for more. Killer Pros having some trouble, ends up in 11th. Motsky as well, 12th. Sneak and Lamb King, rough races, 13th and 14th. And that is the end of the first race of the league. We are going to be taking a break now, and we will be back for Division 2, I believe, in 20 or 30 minutes. So thank you for joining us. And we hope you had a good time. Any final words, Pool?
Just another congratulations to Ollie Bali and the fastest lap of the race by a second. Qualified in second place and finished the race 30 seconds ahead. It's an extremely impressive drive and a strong opening at a difficult car and difficult track combo. So,
great stuff.
Job well done.
Yep, I think we can all agree on that one. All right, we will see you again soon here for Division 1. We will be back on the air in 20 minutes. And thanks again.